All right. Let me get in the mix. All right, hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. This is called the Speak Your Truth podcast. We're doing our first ever episode. I want to thank my guest, C, for being here today. How you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Feeling good, feeling great. So we're going to talk a little bit about profanity and the influence of profanity. All right, and you guys can speak your truth, talk about, how you feel. And, feel free to leave a comment if you want. So we'll start out with profanity, all right? So for my situation when it comes to profanity, being a coach or whatever, I try not to cuss at my kids or cuss around my kids, just to show the professionalism and the composure, because being filtered is very important, especially in our society today where kids are easily influenced and like TikTok, YouTube and stuff. So there's a lot of things that comes with profanity and especially in parenting, right? Even though we're not parents, but I work with kids, and it's somewhat of parenting because you're helping a parent out, and some parents, the way they parent is a little bit different, right?
Right, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So for the situation we're going to speak about today is, profanity in music. Can it create conflict in business? So for me, I'm a coach. I'm a basketball coach. And I also rap, and I make beats and make music. And I also do songs with other artists who use profanity. So my question for you, I have a guest, how do you feel about profanity, like in music? For instance, in my situation, I'm a coach. I want to be filtered. I don't want I'm kind of okay with my kids not knowing that I make music, but my music is all over the internet. There was a time where I was famous on YouTube, so it's just like, looking at it today versus back then, it's like, all right, the way I deliver my music now, it's like I don't really use profanity, but the music that I used back then, my past albums, a lot of profanity. A lot of things that are very, it could be a little sensitive to some parents. So my question for you is, should I be worried about the musical influence conflicting with the connection of being a coach?
That's a good question, Lester.
It's like something we got to talk about. It's like a problem that I'm dealing with. Just as a human being,
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
How I feel about profanity, and for me, profanity, it kind of depends if it's being directed to somebody. If you're directing it towards a certain entity or group or whatever it may be, it's obviously like being used in the wrong way. For me, that's how I feel. But nobody is saying that you can't express yourself. Like, people tend to express themselves the way that they know, and like I said earlier, cussing or using profanity has been built into our vocabulary since we were young, and that's just something that's a part of who we are, low-key, because that's just what we were surrounded by, and that's not something we should be like ashamed about, is what I'm saying. Society put that standard on profanity. So what matters is how you use your profanity, and knowing that you can, educate the younger minds that the use of profanity is to be, like as an expression, and that's okay. Because the more that we say it's not okay, the more they're gonna want to do it anyways. You know what I mean? So to be honest with you, we just gotta allow it to be, because it's been instilled into our generation. It's gonna be instilled in all the other generations to come, because that's something, a wave that we hit. So I say that you don't have to worry too much, but at the same time, be mindful about how you use it.
Okay, makes sense. So as far as, like, say for instance, like my old music, right? I have a lot of cuss words and stuff, and a few things that I say that could be offensive. My question to you is, should I keep the music up there, or should I probably do another version if it is possible?
Well, for me, how I see it is, I have a question for you for your question. Do you do you feel more powerful holding on to what you've got, or from what you can make in the future?
Honestly, I honestly see no limit for music, and I see no limit for coaching. What I would like it to be is that, hey, they can accept me for,
Who you are.
yeah, for the hat that I have on as a coach, and then the hat I have on as a musician. Because, some of the things I spoke about, hey, it may not, be, my reality, but it's a reality. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my kind of thing is like, the problem that I have is just like some of the things that I may have said that, can be very offensive.
Yeah.
That where they can see it in the future and just be like, you know what, like that's all they think about me. Like every time they see me, they always think about that line. They don't think about like the things that I'm doing now. They haven't heard of, anything that I've done new. But there's maybe people that it could change. Like they hear, some of the new stuff and they're like, man, this is way better than the past. This makes me feel good now.
So then my question is this, then, if you were to delete it, would you feel more at ease? Because it seems like you're holding on to it.
Well,
the feelings that it brings.
Well, the thing is that I've deleted it before. So when I was viral, right?
Yeah.
Like I already deleted it. Like I was viral. I was pretty much famous on YouTube. I had more views than Eminem, 50 Cent at one point when I first was on YouTube, because I was one of the first users on YouTube, like one of the first videos that was ever on there, and it got viral. And I deleted it, and I felt like my friendships just like, I don't know, like it was like nobody cared anymore, like when they got deleted, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of wanted it to be like that because it was like I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to be private, and if I were going to be famous, I'd rather be recognized for something like coaching, like, oh, he's a really good coach, not for the goofy stuff that I was doing with music and acting a fool, like I don't want to be looked at as like that. That was my problem at the time.
So that's perfect example to come back to what I was saying with however you use your profanity, and depending on your intentions of your message is kind of what matters. Because if you're bothered, if you're kind of somewhat bothered about, the profanity that was said in the past, then maybe part of you is kind of like, you know what, I can be better.
Right.
And so with that being said, it's like if you want to keep it, delete it, whatever it may be, it's not going to really change the fact that you're still going to be on that tip of like, man, I had it out, or man, I deleted it, because the next thing you're going to be like, oh fuck, I deleted it. Like, see, look, you see how that just came out? Did you hear that?
What?
See, you didn't even understand. You didn't even catch it. I said the F word.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Right, because it's within our vocabulary, and it's kind of like, I'm not directing it towards you. It's just an expression,
right?
An expression of how the energy is, and sometimes it can go and lead into a fight and all that kind of stuff. But like sometimes you just gotta understand, just not to take things personal nowadays, because it is within our vocabulary.